morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're joining us from. My name is John Paul Backwell. I am the Managing Director at ILUS International. And what I'd like to do over the next 30 minutes or so is take you through who we are as a company, our technology, and our roadmap, our plans. I trust this will be a useful time for you. Many of you may have tuned into the Emerging Growth Conference earlier and will have seen that frustratingly I was cut short, wasn't able to finish my presentation. That is my fault. There's just so much information. Those of you who know our company will just know that there's so much about us, so much that we're passionate about. It's hard to speak briefly just about one aspect of our technology, let alone all of it and all of the acquisitions, etc. So I'm going to try and shoot through a few things, especially the beginning bit, so that you guys can see the bits which we didn't get to in the presentation. So you're interested in a company which has patented firefighting technology that can extinguish car fires in less than 30 seconds with as little as 1.6 gallons of water, roughly 7 liters of water. That's impressive. That's extraordinary, actually, if you think about what it takes to put a car fire out. Are you interested in a company which has patented firefighting technology that can extinguish oil fires, grease fires, and even electricity fires with water only? You should be. I think if you've ever tried to put an electricity fire out with water only, well, you wouldn't be with us. You must well be aware of the wildfire crisis, which is currently plaguing the USA and a number of countries around the world. And are you interested in a company which has technology that can fight wildfires and is building a comprehensive range of equipment to fight wildfires? And finally, are you interested in a company that increased its revenue by 462% in the second quarter of the year and has already acquired 3 companies so far this year, and a company which is working on more than 10 acquisitions currently alongside multiple large deals and partnerships? And let's just look briefly at that performance before we get into the companies themselves and the strategy. As I mentioned, that 462% revenue increase in the second quarter, with second quarter revenue of $2.86 million. Our profit was up 375% to just under $1 million. Assets up to over $24 million. We completed 3 acquisitions. We have multiple letters of intent signed, purchasing negotiations underway. We've hired more than 8 staff for ILUS just in the last 2 weeks. Our distributors have increased significantly. We have more than 30 for Firebug alone. As of the market close yesterday, our market cap was $231 million. And very importantly for us, our revenue target of $15 million plus for this year is something we're certainly on track to achieve. Now, who we are as a company, very briefly, we're a mergers and acquisitions company which acquires and grows public safety technology companies, thereby adding value to its shareholders. And our primary goal, the heartbeat of who we are, is we develop and acquire technology which will ultimately increase safety, protect assets, and save lives. That's what we're about. That's what we're truly passionate about. And that's why we're doing this and not something else. We operate as a company out of New York, London, and Dubai, factory in Dubai, offices and an R&D assembly facility in the UK, and obviously an office in New York with additional sites coming soon through our acquisitions. Our dynamic and experienced management team is led by Nicholas Link, who many of you may know or be aware of. I've personally known Nick since 2014. He's a close friend of mine. I always say anything he touches turns to gold, and so that's why I stick with him. I'm not going to spend too much time here. You can find any of these team members, including myself, on LinkedIn. You're welcome to link up with them, link up with me, and get to know us. I've included these slides, these upcoming slides, just to show you, give you a little bit more of a feel of who we are as a company. and the real heartbeats of our business, which is the people and the technology that we create. Going from top left to right, top to bottom, the UK team at the UK factory, the handover of a vehicle in Dubai, a demonstration in the UK, bottom there, the team at a trade show in Dubai, at a trade show in the United Kingdom, and another trade show in Dubai on the right, bottom right. Along the bottom here, the Dubai factory, and the team, Nick up at the top right there, at a meeting with Molk International. Some of the products being manufactured and finished off for customers at the top left, for a customer at the top left. More vehicles, the UK office, bottom right for Firebug, and again, more vehicles, partners. Bottom right there is Kayom, our resident engineer in Dubai, who's the real brains behind our firefighting nozzles. And some more action photos, demonstrations, equipment, and 2 vehicles just being finished off before they go to a customer in the UK. So it brings me to the problem. We all know we're facing increased threat to our lives, to our families' lives, etc. At the same time as this is going on, emergency response services are under increased pressure with reduced budgets and aging technology. We live in an era where everything's instant. We press a button and our food is ready. And so we expect instant response from emergency services. However, they're faced with increasing problems, increased traffic, through an increased population, through increased urbanization, increased infrastructure, narrower roads, more infrastructure is being built. So they're facing increased challenges, yet we expect them to respond instantly. There's an increase in the use of electronic devices, all of which need batteries. Cars with batteries are increasing, electric vehicles, electric bikes. The use of chemicals is on the increase. We all know about terror threats, which are on the increase, and then extreme weather events taking place. All of this while we expect a shorter response time from public services, that expectation of instant solutions, as I mentioned. And the great problem that the emergency services, the first responders face, which is a decreased budget. They're expected to do far more with less. So what's the solution? Well, we would say it's not the complete solution, but it is a huge part of the solution is our disruptive life-saving technology. The technology we have and the technology which we're acquiring. That which we have, our water mist technology, our rapid response vehicle solutions, smaller vehicles that can respond quicker, move through traffic quicker, move into tighter areas quicker, and effectively shorten response times with more efficient firefighting capability on arrival. We have a number of technology partnerships in place, and this for us is key to the solution, because we know we cannot do this all alone. We know that it's wise to collaborate with leading technology partners. It's also wise to utilize the latest artificial intelligence technology to provide life safety solutions. We have existing wildfire technology, and we're expanding and developing and acquiring more wildfire technology. Surveillance, monitoring, response, and communications technology, software solutions, wearable technology, and then sustainable solutions, including our commercial electric vehicles. We're also acquiring new technology, as I've alluded to, and improving that technology. So our aim is to have a complete range of technology and solutions to strike right at the heart of the problems we're facing. So jumping into the acquisitions, the companies we've acquired already, many of you will know of Firebug. It's a company I've been a part of myself, which was founded by Nick, and I've been a part of since 2014. It has a range it began with the range of firefighting nozzles, and it now has expanded right through to delivering large firefighting vehicles for airports and the oil and gas market, etc. But the range is comprehensive, includes everything from the water mist firefighting nozzles right through to the portable backpack on the left-hand side there, the Mistmax portable range of pumps and various other types of pumps, including floating pumps, the Mongoose external firefighting lance, which is truly a groundbreaking product, a product that is proven to save lives. It enables firefighters to fight fires from the outside of a building, to cool compartment fires, which is a huge threat to firefighters and victims within buildings. And as I said, that range is comprehensive. It's all based around the foundational water mist technology that has been developed by Firebug. And just to explain that quickly, many of you will know of the fire triangle, hopefully from your school days if you were taught well. But fire needs air, fuel, and heat to burn, and conventional water is used to wet the surface area. And in so doing, it only reduces heat. So it only reduces one of the elements of the fire triangle. And to do this, it requires a large amount of water, large pumps, large trucks, many firefighters. This whole process is expensive, it's inefficient, it's environmentally unfriendly, and it causes hazardous material runoff, which damages the environment. Compare that with Firebug's water mist technology, which is capable of eliminating two sides of the fire triangle, the oxygen, removing the oxygen, suffocating the fire in the flame. When the water mist droplets convert to steam, and so it removes the oxygen and the heat from the fire, and it eliminates the free radicals of the fuel, so reducing the fuel. It pretty much tackles all three sides of the fire triangle extremely efficiently. So that's the foundation of Firebug's technology, and that thereby enables smaller vehicles with smaller water tanks, smaller pumps, plug-and-play type pumps, which means that vehicles can be placed on site to provide first response capability and perform a response prior to a fire service arriving 10 or 15 minutes later, which normally by that time the fire could be out of control. I could explain a lot more on that, but I'll move on for the sake of time, and happy to take any questions on this through various forums. The water mist technology uses 60 to 80% less water to fight fires, and it's capable of fighting multiple classes of fires with water only. So it's won a number of awards. Our firefighting nozzles have actually won an innovation award in the UK. It's been featured on the BBC previously. So as I said, it's tried, it's tested, it's widely accepted in some markets like Sweden, and to a certain extent, low pressure water mist is becoming widely accepted in the United Kingdom, and obviously in places like India, and that's as well. It's becoming more widely accepted. So it is gaining more and more traction globally, and obviously we've sold it to a large extent internationally over the years. I'll just touch on one point regarding Firebug today, and that's that we are the only market player to offer complete solutions from nozzles right through to full complete vehicles with proprietary technology. So Firebug is getting a lot of attention internationally, and that's why we have more than 30 distributors of the products already. The vehicle converters is a recent acquisition in the first quarter of 2021, and they convert vehicles for various purposes. I'll show you some of the vehicles now. They have been in business for more than 15 years, headquartered in Dubai, and they've got a number of prestigious names as their clients, including Shell, BP, Emirates Airlines, one at the top, near the top right, which you will see the United States Army, and that's that Jebel Ali base in Dubai that they operate from. They've done vehicles for them. The United Nations, Apple, you name it, a number of big names, Etisalat, Costa Coffee, etc. These are actual vehicles which they have converted and delivered to customers, ambulances, mobile clinics, more ambulances, police vehicles, prisoner vans, canine units, rescue vehicles, forensic labs. Forgive me if I'm just shooting through these, but try not to take too much of your time. I'm sure you can always take a closer look at this on replay. Anti-riot bomb squad vehicles, gun carriers, mobile workshops and mobile offices, food and beverage vehicles, so food trucks, very popular, logistics vehicles, and wheelchair transporters, passenger transports. So this brings me to BCD Fire, a second quarter acquisition for ILUS. And BCD Fire is a leading systems integrator and installer of fire access and security systems across the UAE. They've been in business for more than 20 years in the region. They're a prominent player in the region. They deliver turnkey projects and are certified by the local Dubai Civil Defense. You've heard us speak a fair bit about BCD Fire because they've won some prominent contracts of late. They install fire detection alarm systems predominantly, deluge systems, voice evacuation systems, water mist and sprinkler systems, wet pipe systems, hose reel systems, and very importantly, kitchen hood fire suppression systems, with the latter being very important to us in terms of aligning with our strategy and the acquiring of BCD Fire. They've, as I said, won a number of significant contracts, most recently the Burj 2020 building, which is the world's largest, or will be the world's largest commercial tower when it is completed. We have significant growth plans for BCD Fire. We've spoken previously about the obtaining of the A license, which will enable them to install their fire and life safety systems in buildings of unlimited heights. As you know, in the Dubai area and the whole region, really the whole Middle Eastern region, they build these rather tall and dominant buildings. They're always competing with the rest of the world or their neighbors to outperform them. So there's certainly no shortage of work for BCD Fire. It's just about scaling them up. And as you can see at that A license level, there is 48 technicians, full-time technicians, and 12 engineers required. Currently, they have 12 and 4 respectively, and we're obviously scaling them up the ladder from to 18 and 6, and then 24 and 8, and upwards to obtain the A license. The other aspect we're working on with them, we've actually employed a salesperson in the UAE to do this, is to go after and increase their maintenance business revenue. Currently, that's not something they're tapping into as much as they should be, and we're looking to grow them in that area. So in terms of new innovative technology that we are currently pushing through certification, that's our fixed water mist system technology, which is going to be rolled out in the Middle East through BCD Fire, but through other partners and acquired companies globally, which we'll talk more about over the coming weeks. But the water mist technology has already been developed and it's currently going through certification for kitchen hood fires, battery compartment fires, energy storage facility fires, so battery bank fires. Some of you may have seen the recent large battery bank fire in Australia, which took more than a week to extinguish and cost more than $150 million to extinguish. So it's a significant risk. Engine compartment fires, fires in buses and trains, public transport, electricity transformer fires, another significant threat. Dust suppression, water mist is very effective in suppressing dust in mines and that, and every year mines spend huge amounts of their budgets on suppressing dust. Water mist is very effective in that area, and an area where it is tried and tested already or widely acknowledged, should I say rather, as very effective is in data centers, large IT data centers, etc. So that fixed water mist system technology is currently going through certification, brought a very experienced member onto our team. We recently announced a press release on that, and so you'll see more news coming out over the coming weeks and months about this technology as it goes through certification, as we start to release it to markets. Current electric vehicle, the eRaptor 6x6, is being sold around the world. It's a very popular vehicle for the customers that are using it, and obviously we're looking to roll it out further through various dealers and the likes. But we're also developing a more comprehensive range of commercial electric utility vehicles. But just to say, the eRaptor 6x6 is the world's first and only electric six-wheel utility vehicle. It has a leading range in its sector of 50 miles on a single charge. It can carry more than double the weight of its nearest competitor. And the range we're developing is a more cost-effective 4x4 eRaptor that will have a flatbed and a dump bed format. And then we're also developing a road legal 4-passenger last mile transport vehicle. And that's for the likes of airports, holiday resorts, etc. So that's very exciting in terms of what we're doing there. And I'm sure that we'll expand that range even further in the future. So the aim now is to bring out an additional 3 vehicles in addition to our 6x6, and then continue to expand from there. Of exciting partnerships in place, including our partnership with Take Leap. Take Leap is really a global leader in artificial intelligence or AI technology, machine learning technology, augmented reality solutions, and virtual reality training solutions. We have partnered with them to deliver virtual reality training for fire and life safety, and we have an exclusive agreement for their VR software for health and safety to be rolled out globally. We've actually employed a salesperson to focus on this in Dubai, and of course we're looking to expand it internationally. So the VR training software for fire extinguishers, fire extinguisher use, as well as CPR training, is currently going through a certification process in Dubai. By certification, I mean it's really going through an endorsement phase. Once we get the local authority to endorse it, we can then certify it. Beyond that, we'll look to then expand that internationally, go through the required certification processes, amend the software for the local markets. It just needs some fine tuning, and then continue to expand it internationally. We have, of course, the partnership with Millennium. They're a public company which develops intelligent unmanned ground, sea, and aerial vehicles. These are sold to a number of military organizations globally. They're used for also security and rescue. And we have specifically partnered with them to develop and deliver an autonomous firefighting vehicle with surveillance capability. And this has been done under a global exclusive OEM agreement. And so here's some snapshots of what that vehicle looks like. There is actually now a prototype that has been developed and it's being tested. And this is because we've had some engagement from potential customers, but we will, because of that engagement, we'll initially look to deploy it along pipelines, perimeters, and large industrial facilities for surveillance and first response firefighting capability. Forgive me if I'm just really trying to move quickly through these slides, so as to not take too much of everyone's time, but also cover all the bases really, because there really are so many of them. We also have 2 drone partnerships in place. One is for I guess I would call it a larger firefighting and rescue unmanned aerial vehicle. We have a partnership agreement signed with this company. We cannot say who they are at this stage because there's a very important proof of concept underway. But all going well, the vehicle should be capable of carrying up to 1 ton, which means that for both firefighting and rescue, it will be supremely capable. We also have a partnership in place. We have the hardware already in place. It's just the software that's being fine-tuned. And the partnership is for surveillance drones, which are capable of doing road maintenance, monitoring, and also providing firefighting situational awareness. So our US strategy and the acquisition roadmap that we have. Let me tell you a bit about that. We have a triple-pronged acquisition strategy globally, and we're busy rolling that out across the US at the moment. Our strategy is to acquire technology, to acquire market knowledge, and to acquire a route or the routes to market. In terms of our current progress in the US, you will have seen that we released a press release recently talking about what we're doing in the US, what is unraveling currently as we speak. We are acquiring US manufacturing capability. We had previously thought that we were going to do this from the ground up, but as it has worked out to our favor and to your favor, I believe, we are able to acquire that manufacturing capability, the engineering capability, the equipment, machinery, etc., all under one roof or a couple of roofs. And that's very satisfying for us. We know it's the smoothest way for us to move forward. We are also acquiring a route to market for our existing products, as well as for additional technology, and I'll jump into that very shortly. So first up, we are acquiring the US manufacturing capability in Texas for our pumps and firefighting equipment. So there's a few images of what's coming on that front. 20,000 square foot facility with significant manufacturing capability, administration offices, etc., room to expand, significant room to expand, and an existing business which is generating significant revenue currently. We're also acquiring the US manufacturing capability for vehicles and the ability to assemble vehicles and equipment onto vehicles, and that is happening in Tennessee. So what's fascinating about this company for us is that it holds a huge amount of engineering capability in-house, CNC routing or routing, as I would call it in my accent, machinery, design equipment, etc. So it is a excellent business for us to acquire. It fits our strategy perfectly. The business itself, as you can see, is bursting at the seams already. And one of the first things we'll be doing is acquiring a larger site for the company, as they've certainly hit the ceiling in terms of their production capacity. They are full to bursting, so to speak, which is exciting. But as soon as we increase their production capacity, they'll be able to do more vehicles and obviously increase their revenue significantly. We'll then be acquiring, and we are extremely close to acquiring our route to market in the US. And with that, the real bonus is that it is coming with a huge amount of market knowledge for us. A very experienced team, all of whom have been long-standing firefighters themselves. So it's an incredible amount of knowledge that we're gaining as a team, and insights, advice, and the likes. They have a number of exclusive agreements in place for rescue equipment, for firefighting equipment, nozzles, and much more. They have a lot of servicing revenue coming in. They have satellite locations. They have the ability to expand nationally. They have a number of national distribution agreements in place as well, and they've got a wide range of wildfire fighting equipment. Their range is comprehensive. Everything that the industry requires is distributed by this company. They also have 6 salespeople on board, and obviously their salespeople are incredibly experienced. So this acquisition is close to being completed on our side. The purchasing agreement has been, well, verbally agreed, we can say at this stage, and we have lawyers checking some details, and it's in its real final stages. They have a number of vehicles as well, demonstration equipment, etc. So very promising for us, acquiring that route to market in the US. We'll also be acquiring and we're moving quite quickly through the stages of the acquisition of a fixed fire safety system company. They do installations and maintenance of kitchenette systems, fire systems, and they have a number of large contracts in place. And one of the things that really piqued our interest recently is that they just signed a large contract with a very prominent name that we'll look forward to announcing, all going well, in the very near future. So that has also come together for us. Initially, we were looking at expanding BCD Fire themselves into the United States. As it stands, we will be able to launch our own water mist fixed system capability into the US through an existing acquisition, which is revenue generating, profit generating, etc. So that's great from that perspective, and we look forward to announcing that formally soon. In terms of the European strategy and acquisitions, we are acquiring a large manufacturing facility. Some might say astronomical. I've heard it said. I'm not sure who wrote that, but that person who wrote the word astronomical might have been correct. If you just look at the top right there, that is the 3D floor plan of the entire site. It's massive. That's just one of the sets of offices at the top left there, and the actual under roof manufacturing capability is, well, again, probably astronomical, depending on your definition of astronomical. So this acquisition is in the final stages of completion. It's taking place at the top levels of government purely because of the size of it. It obviously adds that large scale manufacturing capability for us. It includes a large contract potentially attached to it. That's something that we are negotiating, and it will give us that electric vehicle design and manufacturing capability as well. Staff-wise, upwards of 1,300. So it's a significant acquisition for us. There are other acquisitions taking place in Europe, or deals, but I'm not at liberty to discuss those right now. So I'm going to move on. Finally, our UK strategy is primarily around research and development and some very specialized manufacturing. There's a lot of very specialized skills in the region, and so we're looking to acquire that. We're currently working on a couple of acquisitions and moving quite quickly with one. I have some more meetings at the back end of this week around the acquisition of a copolymer vehicle body manufacturer with large-scale CNC routing capability. That's the company pictured here. They have a number of European contracts in place. They're generating fairly substantial revenue, and they give us a lot of capability, but very importantly, their CNC equipment and expertise is very valuable to us and our strategy. So that's so far the US, European, and UK acquisitions. So I wanted to talk very briefly about the ILUS coin, personally, because this is something that I'm passionate about. The reason being is it is an important means for potential customers that do not have the initial capital outlay to purchase ILUS equipment, to be able to procure it via innovative lease contracts, which the crypto community can get involved in and vote on. So, for example, volunteer fire brigades can procure our equipment to protect their communities and to ultimately save lives via these lease contracts, which are all enabled by the success of the ILUS coin. So more information about it is available online, ilus-coin.com. You can follow ILUS coin on Twitter, or join the Telegram channel, which has over 25,000 members. It's trading on PancakeSwap and LA Token. And as I said, all of the information about rewards, staking, etc., is available online. So I encourage you to learn more about it and then make a decision about whether or not to support it from there. For me, though, I'm incredibly passionate about it. So just to conclude, final slide, Why would you want to invest in ILUS? In summary, we've definitely shown that we're building a long-term sustainable business. We're not here today, gone tomorrow. In 5 years' time, we're still going to be, and well beyond, we're still going to be producing technology that's going to be saving lives. And whether we're on the OTC or not, I certainly am sure we will not be. I'm sure that very soon we will be on NASDAQ, but regardless, we will be producing technology that's going to be saving lives. We're already delivering on our roadmap. We might not always have been on time, but we've always been delivering, and that roadmap for growth is very, very clear. I'm sure you would have seen through the acquisitions that are coming up, the deals, the deal flow, all of that. The roadmap for growth is certainly there, and certainly something that is very, very exciting. And our technology is already protecting communities and saving lives. A lot of OTC companies have great ideas that need to go through stages of approval and things like that before the next big thing can take place. We're already doing it. We've already been there, and our technology is already transforming in so many ways. And it's going to continue to do so on a much larger scale. We're adding shareholder value. We're developing and growing the businesses that we've acquired. Obviously, we've got some exciting businesses coming up that we're in the process of acquiring. And we look forward to getting stuck into those, and we look forward to your support along the way. We obviously have a dynamic and experienced management team. We obviously have a large deal flow and a pipeline of acquisitions, global partnerships, and deals, which I've touched on as much as I could have in today's presentation. I think it's important to say that I can only speak about what is already public, and so I'm itching to say more, but a lot is going to be revealed over the coming days and weeks. We're growing rapidly on the OTC markets, and we obviously believe we have a clear plan for being listed on NASDAQ. You'll be saying, well, many companies talk about going to NASDAQ and the majority of them fail. We are sure of our plan. We'll be bringing a number of key members onto our board of directors very soon. They'll be non-execs, and you'll see when you do some research on them that it'll be very clear as to how we plan to go to NASDAQ and why we are so confident and that we can get there in a very short time frame, and all without a reverse split. So we've also spoken very briefly previously that we have plans for a large global acquisition coming in the next 6 to 9 months, and early stages of discussions for this are already underway. For us, this is incredibly exciting. The opportunity to acquire a large global multinational is something that we've been wanting to do for some time, and it's good to see that the doors towards that are starting to open. We're excited to bring you more news in due course on that. Finally, and I think very importantly, we remain transparent, we remain approachable. This is because we truly do value our shareholders. We talk about the ILUS family or the ILUS army, very specifically the ILUS family. There's nothing stronger. There shouldn't be anything really stronger than a family, and so your support means a lot to us, and it's one of the reasons we try to remain close to our shareholders. And as always, I'm available for questions. The rest of the team is available for questions. So by all means, please hit me up, whether it's on LinkedIn. You can contact us via email, and the emails will come through to me via the rest of the team. You can DM me on Twitter. But the point being, get in touch if you have questions. I look forward to getting to know more of you and working with you as we continue to build ILUS and the ILUS family, the ILUS community. So again, thank you for your time. Really do appreciate it. I know it's been a long presentation. I said 30 minutes. People will criticize and say, well, plan a bit better, son. The reality is, if you're passionate or as passionate about this technology as I am, you'll struggle to keep me under 2 hours at any point in time talking about it. So thank you. I hope that you found this time informative and useful to you. And yeah, look forward to the next one.